Meet Pal Maleter, the accidental martyr of the Hungarian Revolution. Today, the Hungarian Revolution of 1956 has been immortalized as ordinary people standing up against the oppression of the post-war Soviet Union. Despite its failure, countless stories of heroism have arisen, as soldiers and civilians alike resisted oppression in their own ways. According to former US President John F. Kennedy, October 23, 1956 is a day that will live forever in the annals of free men and nations. It was a day of courage, conscience, and triumph. No other day since history began has shown more clearly the eternal unquenchability of man's desire to be free, whatever the odds against success or whatever the sacrifice required. Pal Maleter was one such figure who made the ultimate sacrifice in Hungary's fight for freedom, but his story begins much earlier. Maleter was born in 1917, 1 year before the end of the First World War. Although born to Hungarian parents in the former Austro-Hungarian Empire, his birthplace of apparences is today located in Slovakia. During his childhood, the Maleter family was a simple, ordinary family attempting to pick up the pieces following the dismantling of Hungary. Maleter enrolled as a medical student at the Charles University of Prague in Czechoslovakia before moving to Budapest in 1938 to enroll in the military academy. Joining the military academy was a decision that would shape the rest of his life. Initially, he joined purely to obtain his Hungarian citizenship, which he had been deprived of due to Hungary's fall in World War I. But World War II soon led to his deployment on the brutal Eastern Front. In 1944, Maleter was captured as the Red Army pushed into Eastern and Central Europe, but unlike other prisoners of war, he refused to languish in a camp with an uncertain fate hanging over him. Like a number of other prisoners of war, Maleter volunteered to fight against the Germans. He became a communist and was trained as a partisan. By 1945, he had been deployed in Transylvania, now part of Romania. Records state that Maleter, with his new training in sabotage, fought bravely and courageously. By the end of the war, he returned to Hungary as a member of the Hungarian Communist Party. His decision to volunteer upon his original capture stood him in good stead, as he retained his position in the new Hungarian army. During an 11-year period of relative calm in the new post-war Europe, he continued to climb the ranks of the army. By the time of the Revolution of 1956, Maleter had ascended to the rank of colonel, making him a highly influential member of the Hungarian military. Like all other army units throughout Hungary, the beginning of the revolution saw him assigned to crush the people and restore order throughout the country. However, upon making contact with the insurgents, he refused to turn his unit's guns on them. Unwilling to murder his own people in cold blood, he switched sides, becoming the highest-ranking soldier to join the insurgents. After joining the uprising, his unit helped to defend the Killian barracks located in the heart of the Hungarian capital. It would become one of the strongest locations of the resistance during the short-lived revolution. As the most senior military presence on the side of the revolutionaries, he was soon made part of the highest echelons of the rebel leadership. It also won him a rapid promotion from a mere colonel to a general. Plus, on the 29th of October 1956, the revolutionaries made him their Minister of Defense. Now a member of the new government in waiting, Maleter was assigned the task of carrying out direct negotiations with the Soviet Union's forces at the Hungarian parliament. For a short time, there was real hope that the revolution would have a happy ending and the Red Army would withdraw from the country. However, the following day, General Ivan Serov, head of the KGB, the Soviet Union's secret police, arrested Maleter and others at the Tokol military base close to Budapest. The arrest was a direct violation of international law. Maleter was confined to a prison in Budapest alongside former Prime Minister Imre Nagy and other senior members of the revolutionary government. With the Soviet Union now in direct control of Hungary, Maleter and others received a show trial at the People's Court Council of the Supreme Court. He was quickly sentenced to death for conspiracy, rebellion, and treason on June 15, 1958. With no room for appeal, the unlikely revolutionary was hanged the following day. But Maleter wasn't forgotten. In June 1989, as the Soviet Union teetered on the brink of collapse, he was formally reburied with full state honors, receiving the title of Colonel General of Hungary. In the end, the Hungarian Revolution had failed, with the Soviet Union remaining in total control of the country. Promises of help from the West failed to materialize, with little more than platitudes and the welcoming of a small number of refugees who had managed to slip away. President Dwight D. Eisenhower, who was campaigning at the time of the uprising, could only say, "I feel with the Hungarian people." On this occasion, this throwaway comment from the leader of the free world would be all that the Hungarians would receive in the way of support. Sadly, it would be nearly 35 years later that they would be free again. Until the end, Soviet soldiers remained in the country, keeping a close watch on its affairs, the memories of the revolution forever fresh. In fact, the Red Army wouldn't depart the country until 1990, during the final days of the USSR. But for making the ultimate sacrifice, Maleter became a beacon of resistance against tyranny and remains one of the heroes of the uprising today. So there we have it. If you have any comments, criticisms, or corrections, let me know in the comments, and I'll see you in the next video.